All right, so this is a continuation of part 2, right? This is what we're doing, evaluating. Sometimes they say evaluate, sometimes they say simplify. Sometimes they'll say simplify, sometimes they'll say evaluate. What are we evaluating? What are we simplifying? Expressions with what? With rational. Rational means what? Fraction, right? Rational what? Exponents, right? The exponents are like a fraction, right? That's what we're doing, right? Yeah. Okay. But this is part 2 because we just did part 1 on the previous part 2 or worksheet 2. Yeah. Expressions with rational exponents, part 2. All right, so let me put this problem for you. I'll put a really easy one. How about number 1, 4 to the power of 3/2. Let's do that easy one like that. Well, the key number is this 2, right? That means that the 4, I should be able to write it as some number squared. Does everybody agree 4 is what? 2 squared? Yeah. Raised to the what? 3/2, yeah? Okay. And what's going to happen there? Well, you know that this 2 and this 2 are going to cancel, right? One of them's in the numerator, one of them's in the denominator. They divide out. So we're left with 2 to the power 3. You guys agree? And then 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Okay. That's not new. That was part 1. That was worksheet 1, right? Here's one with today. You said it's going to have a negative, right? Okay, so I'm going to put it right here. Look at number 2. What if I put that same problem 4, but I put negative 3/2? Right? This one had a positive. What if I put a negative 3/2? Let's just see what's going to happen. Isn't it still going to be that this is 2 squared? See, I don't let that negative bother me. As a matter of fact, that negative, you're gonna worry about it till the very last. Okay, to the very last. You're still gonna just find the base number that has a power of 2. And the negative, we always bump it up to the top. Well, I know you'll see it in the middle. You always move it up to the top. So the negative 3/2. Does everybody agree we're going to get... does everybody agree these are going to cancel still like this? You guys see it? And then what? And then see, I told you the negative, you just got to worry to the last. See here? Here you got 2 to the power of positive 3. Now here we're going to get 2 to the power of what? Negative 3. You're telling me that we have not worked with negative exponents? Who can tell me how we do this? Remember? We can't evaluate negative exponent. If it's in the top, we got to move it to the... Remember that? To make it positive, remember that? Yeah. So really, what's left here? 1 over what? Now it's 2 to the power of 3 is positive down. See that? Exponent has to be positive. You guys remember now? Great. And what's going to be the final answer then? 1 over 8. You guys see it? 1 over 8. 1 over 8. Like that. Because 1 over and then 2 to the power of 3 is 8, so 1 over 8. I mean, that's it. That's not it. Sorry. That's it for when the negative is in the exponent. Yeah? Let's do another one. Let's do number 3. That was an easy one. Okay. Number 3. Let's just do one more like this. Number 3. How about 64 to the power of negative 1/3? So remember, I know 8 squared is 64, but I'm not trying to find something squared. I'm trying to find something what? Cubed. What to the power of 3 gives you 64? Does anybody remember how I told you on Friday what you need to do if you don't know what it is? You got to go to your calculator, right? And if it's the 3, you got to do what? The cubed root of 64. You do the cubed root of 64 on your calculator if you don't know what it is. It's 4. Did you guys get 4? You guys try it? You try it on your calculator. It'll tell you that it's 4. That's what it is. 4 cubed is 64. Okay. 4 to the power of 3 raised to the... okay, so that's just the 64, but that's raised to the negative 1/3. Yeah? But I like what's happening here. What's going to happen? Well, I got 4 to the 3 times negative 1/3. What's going to happen here? Aren't these 3's going to cancel like that? What's left? 4 to the power of negative 1. What's the answer for 4? Or what happens to the negative? You move it down. You better not tell me the answer is negative 4. Is it negative 4? No. That 4 to the power of negative 1 has to be dropped. So now it's 1/4 to the power of 1. Final answer? 1/4. Are we okay with that one? Yeah. Okay, number 4, very similar. What if I tell you, hold on, let me pick a number I know you don't know. Okay, no, you don't know this. I think it's, okay, 729 to the power of negative 2/3. What? How did you get that? Remember, if you don't know what it is, how are you going to do it? Well, I told you the 3 is your key here. You're going to find the cubed root of 729, right? You got to use your calculator. The cubed root of 729 is 9. Everybody got 9? Yeah, it's 9. What does that mean that it's 9? 9 what? 9 squared is not 9 squared is 81. 9 what? 729 is 9 cubed. Yeah, I know. That's why I was making sure. I know what you meant, but that's not what you said. Okay. You guys okay how to use your calculator? Remember when it's these bigger numbers that you don't know? I know some of you are not too familiar with. Okay, 9 cubed to the power of negative 2/3. What's going to happen? Isn't this 3 here, the top one, going to cancel with this bottom? Yeah. Okay, what's left, everybody? 9 to the power of negative 2? You better show me that 9 to the power of negative 2 is really 1 over? Yeah, 1/9 squared, and 1/9 squared is... Okay, everybody agree we've done this with the negative exponents before? Are we cool with the negative exponent when it's up here? When the negative's up here on the rational exponent, when it's up here. Okay, what if it's in the bottom in the base number? Anybody know how to handle that one? Let's try that. Are we okay with that one? Everybody good, number 4? Okay, number 5. What if it's like this? 5. What if it's like... negative 8 to the power of 4/3. What's the difference? Can anybody tell me what it is?
That number's negative instead of 20. You can't take the negative root of a negative number.
Okay. Well, see, the problem is you're still thinking in squares. What's a negative times a negative? A positive. When you have an even number, like negative and a negative, when they come in pairs, Two negatives make a positive, right? Right? Like something squared. Like negative 2 times negative 2 will be positive 4, right? It's two negatives. What if it's four negatives? Like negative 2 times negative 2, and then another negative 2 with another negative 2. These two make a positive, and these two make a positive. You see, it's going to be positive. Does everybody agree when it's sets of twos, when it's in pairs, right? When it's an even number, when it's an even number power, your answer is positive. You guys agree with that? But what about when you have something like this? Like negative 2 to an odd power. Listen to this. What happens to when you have negative 2 to an odd power? It's a negative. See, when you have an odd power, you can have numbers with negative signs. See? Because that'll be what? Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. The answer is not going to be positive. The answer is going to be what? Negative 8. So, guess what number I'm working with here, everybody? Negative 8, right? So this one's going to be what? We just did it down here. Didn't we just do it? Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 will give me a negative 8. It will work because it's an odd. You see, when this one's odd, then the negative can work. If it's even, it can't. Everybody understand up here? Because evens, when it's an even power, you'll have two negatives and it'll make a positive, or it's to the power of 4. It's going to be positive to a power of 6. Anyways, this negative 8 is what? Negative 2 what? Cubed, yes? But then that's being raised to the power of what? 4/3. Isn't that going to have to be the power rule? And you have to multiply? Okay, and what's going to happen? Okay, so these are going to cancel. What's left? Negative 2 to the power of what? 4. What is negative 2 to the power of 4? Is that going to be a positive answer or a negative answer? Right? Because if I have two negatives, that makes a positive, and then I have another two negatives, that makes positive. So it's going to be positive 4. Positive answer. Positive what? Positive 16 is the answer. Right? Negative 2 times negative 2, that's a positive. And then another pair of negatives, that's another positive. So the answer is going to be positive. Yeah? Okay. How about this one? What do you think about this one? Anybody got this one? You got this one? What did you get, Samantha? Yeah. Okay, so you're telling me that 16 is negative 4 squared? Yeah? Derek? Yeah, it's negative 16. Anybody see the problem here? What's the problem? What's a negative 4 times another negative 4? Can I square something and get a negative answer? No. This cannot work. You guys see how it cannot work? When I do negative times, I know 4 times 4 is 16, I know that. But a negative times a negative is not going to give me a negative. So guess what? Is there any way I can square something to get a negative? No. So guess what? This is like a tricky problem. This one is actually what? No solution. This problem has no solution. It's impossible. Again, just remember, the only time it's going to work when it has a negative is when this number is what? an odd number like a 3 or like a 5 or like a 7, right? Because then it can work. Then it can work. When this number is an odd number, it works. Okay? All right. When it's an even number, there's no way I can square something and get a negative. See, it doesn't work. Okay, last one. How about this? Number 7. How about negative 125 to the power of 2/3? I'll put one more with a 5 on it. Another odd number. Negative 32 to the power of... Oh, what if I put 2 negatives? I wonder if I have that. I'll just put it, see what you guys do. All right, let's do these last ones real quick. Anybody know how to get 125 to a power of 3? It's 5, but it has to be what? Negative 5 to the power of 3. Everybody agree a negative and a negative? And then one more negative. If it's odd, it's going to come out negative, right? Okay, so negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5 is negative 125. And then this multiplies to the 2/3. What happens there? What happens there? The 3's cancel, no? What's left? Negative 5 squared is what's left. What is negative 5 squared? Positive 25, correct. Sorry, let me change this to a negative 3/5. Sorry, change this one to negative 3/5. Okay, last one. What if they both have negative? Damn. Does anybody know what number raised to the power of 5 is 32? It's going to be 2, but it's going to be a negative, right? Negative 2 works? Yeah. Negative 2 to the power of 5, right? If it's an odd power, you can get a negative. If it's an even power, you cannot get a negative. It has to give you a positive, okay? Okay. Negative 2 to the power of 5 is this 32. The negative 32. And then what do I do with this negative 3/5 times negative 3/5? What's going to happen there, you guys? The 5's are going to cancel out. Right, you guys see that? I kind of wrote it kind of weird right there. Let me do it like this. 5 over 1 times negative 3 over 5. The 5's are going to cancel out, right? What's left? What is left? Negative 2 is my base, and my exponent is negative 3. Tell me what to do. You cannot have thank you so much. You cannot have a negative exponent. When you move it down, it's going to be 1 over negative 2 to the power of... See, the only one when you moved it down that turned positive was the exponent, right? Not the base, not the negative 2. The exponent is the only one that turned what? Positive. All right. Anybody get the final answer? Is it going to be 1 over what? A negative 8, right? But usually when there's a negative, you don't leave it in the bottom. You either put it in the middle or you move it up to the top. So just negative 1/8. Yeah, you never really want to leave a negative. Just move it up to the middle or to the top. Negative 1/8. Okay? We're good? All right, that's how we do it.